A very dear student in our TC course, Leah, he's a teacher as well here, asked me about this expression, chutar o pau da barraca. And I think when it comes to expressions like those, uh, it's kind of hard because not only we have to think a little bit deeper, uh, a little bit more deeply in English, but as well as in Portuguese, you know. Um, so I guess this could be a Brazilian English video, right? Kick the stick of the tent, right? We don't say that, okay? Okay, in order to try to translate that to English, first we would have to realize what does that mean, you know? So a very nice technique I like to use is to get a good Portuguese dictionary if I get to a point where this is the kind of thing we have. Right? By the way, this sound you can hear is my computer open UIs. By the way, again, this is just the best dictionary you can find in the Portuguese language. By far is the best dictionary. Even though Aurélio is really famous, everybody talks about Aurélio. I think Aurélio is not even half of what Wise is. You know, Wise has lots of etymology, and the explanations are more extensive. Okay, so what should I do? I should go there and look up for the word chutar. And then there is one section that talks about locuções. And then I won't be able to find the locução chutar o pau da barraca. So I'm going to try barraca and Jesus, I found it the other time. Chutar. Chutar. Let me try again. I know I shouldn't be doing that in front of the video, but it's nice because then you get to know the process, and you also know how to not only what the answers are, but how the answers come, because then you can do it by yourself, right? Look, I couldn't find in Chutar, I couldn't find Barraca, but then if I go to the word pau, I have in locuções chutar o pau da barraca. Okay, so I'm also teaching you here, guys, how to use the Portuguese dictionary, at least a good or an awesome Portuguese dictionary like this one. Okay, so what is chutar o pau da barraca according to this? Deixar de medir as consequências de qualquer ato. I like that. Okay? Deixar de medir as consequências de qualquer ato. So it gets easier for us to think about what would be a possible translation for chutar o pau da barraca. Okay? And then we have engrossar, entornar o caldo. I love this expression in Portuguese. Entornar is like, you like let it flow, you drop it, so it's like you are making soup or whatever, right? And it's not good, and then you try to fix it and it's not good again, and then you try to fix it one more time and again it's not good. You have two options, right? You can do what I do sometimes and I just say, okay, let's try to eat it, or you can just say, oh, fuck it, and you drop it. So entornar o caldo, that's a nice way to understand chutar o pau da barraca. Remember, we are still in the part where we are trying to understand the Portuguese part of the expression. Okay, we didn't even touch English here. But then we have a second meaning for chutar o pau da barraca, that is abandonar. Look, deixar de medir as consequências de qualquer ato. So maybe, maybe a better example for this first one would be, I just start throwing things, in my soup, and yeah, what the hell, I have those things. And then the second one, I would say, fuck it. Desistir de projeto, chutar o balde. Okay? By the way, be careful, because kick the bucket in English is to die. Okay? So it's See, expressions are different. Okay, so by all of that, we get to know that there is this idea of jogar tudo para cima. Okay, I believe we don't have this expression there. I reached this conclusion em tornar o caldo, as I told you. Okay, deixar de medir as consequências, abandonar, desistir de um projeto, chutar o balde. Okay, by now, guys, we have already gotten many possible expressions for that. But remember, guys, we have to give up the search of finding one expression in English that is going to express all of those concepts in Portuguese, all right? Probably you're going to have other expressions and they don't fit here. We are lucky when they do, but many times they don't, okay? So I could think about like give up, you know? So I'll just give up, you know? I can think about like deixar de medir as consequências. Oh, I said I reached that conclusion, but... Ah, não, I reached the conclusion. Jogar tudo para o alto. Ok, focus. Deixar de medir as consequências. Go wild. Get crazy, you know? So just go wild and you don't care about what is going to happen. And there's also, going back to desistir de um projeto, let's imagine you are on a diet, you know? And there is this temptation, and then you can't stand it anymore, and then you shoot o pau da barraca. So what are you going to do? You can give way, you know, it's like when you fall into temptation, or yield. Okay, that's another nice way to say it. Okay, and if you really want to talk about you know, breaking diets, you could go to the expression pig out. You know, pig out. You are on this diet, you haven't been eating sweets, you know, for 2 weeks, you are feeling proud of yourself, you say, this is the beginning of a new era, you know, I knew I was strong. And then somebody gives you a candy, and it's one of those beautifully awesome tasty candy, you know, like paçoca. You know, there's almost nothing better than paçoca in this world. Of course, you agree with me. Not even chocolate, not even truffles, no. And then you get that paçoca. By the way, paçoca is paçoca. We could call it like peanut candy, peanut bar, but paçoca is paçoca, all right? And then you eat one paçoca, okay? That will be okay, all right? That's just one, so we would continue with your life. But then you feel you have yield, right? You have yielded. You feel that you have gave way. And you know, if you are already in sin, of course, probably you're going to think that subconsciously. What do? You pig out. First, you get all the paçocas from this person, all right? And you eat like 10, shoving them in your mouth. And then you go to the fridge, you get like a liter of milk, and then you drink it. Because, by the way, if you, I don't know if you know that, but it's awesome, you know, to eat paçoca and drink milk. And then you drink milk, and then you are like, and after 10 minutes you start looking for more things, and then you eat like chocolate and soda there is in the fridge, and then you already pick up the phone, you order the pizza, and you pick up the phone again and you order the hamburger, and you turn on the TV, ideally on a very stupid series that is going to fry your brain, and you're just going to sit on the sofa and you're going to pig out for the rest of the day and maybe for the rest of your life. Okay, so that's a nice image to understand pig out. Just one more expression that I really think fits well with chutar o pau da barraca is go on a binge. Okay, binge, binge. Okay, you can go on a binge when, for example, you are exactly the situation I told you. People use a lot for drinking, you know. If you are finally drinking again after a year, you're not going to drink just one small cup, all right? You are going to go on a binge, and then After 3 days, you are going to wake up in Piauí, and you won't remember anything, you know. And of course, there is this very interesting, very modern term that is binge watch. Binge watch is very typical. I confess I can't do it. You know, I can't. That is like you get your favorite series and then you watch like 10 episodes today, 20 episodes tomorrow, 135 episodes the day after tomorrow because it's a holiday. You know, so you binge watch. I can do that because for me, then all the episodes look like the same, and it's as if I'm not watching anything. But I understand people who do it. Okay, so people, chutar o pau da barraca can mean a lot of things, and the big lesson here is we can't imagine that languages are just translation of other languages. That I have an expression here and I'll have another exact expression here that will fit. Okay, we have talked about give up, go wild, get crazy, go on a binge, binge as a verb, and then binge watch, and etc. etc. Yield, give way, big out, and we could go on and on and on thinking about more solutions.